Hi guys, my name is Pranay Kadam and I'm from IM 3G, and this video is a part of my IEP course assignment, and today we're gonna talk about demonetization. So this session is all about demonetization, like what is demonetization, the impact of demonetization at various sectors, the history and background of demonetization. So let's start with it. So let's start with the definition itself. What is demonetization? So demonetization is basically the combination of de and monetization. And monetization means the increase the flow of cash in the economy, but demonetization means calling off the currency from the economy, or we can say that the ban of currency in the economy. So in this session we will discuss the impact of demonetization on various sectors. So let's start with the history of demonetization first. So in 1946, demonetization of 1000 and 10,000 notes took place in India. Again in 1954, 1000, 5000 and 10,000 rupees note were introduced again. But in the year 1978, those 1000, 5000 and 10,000 rupees notes were demonetized again. So let's see the impact of demonetization on GDP. GDP is the final value of goods and services in a particular period of time. So we can say that GDP is directly proportional to the government expenditure, the consumer spending and the investment, and the net exports, that is the exports minus imports. So after demonetization, the circulation of currency will decrease and even the GDP will decrease, because spending, investment, consumptions will also be less and exports will also come down. So let's talk about the agricultural sector, like what effect it had on the agricultural sector. So due to the cash crisis, farm inputs is not available in agricultural sector. So the farmers who had the daily wages, they almost became jobless. Most of the farmers, they didn't even have the bank accounts, so which is again a big problem. And most of the farmers, they had to rely on the money lenders, the local money lenders in their area. And the interest rate will also come down because the people will deposit less in the cash, less cash in the banking sector. Because so the base rate is the lending rate will come down, because the banking sector is getting money at repo rate and the banks are lending money at base rate. So the repo rate will become less and automatically the base rate will come down. Talking about inflation. So what is inflation? When there is an excess of cash in the economy, it leads to inflation. But because of demonetization, people will have less money in their hand and it will not lead to inflation. Inflation are basically of four types. First is the creeping inflation, second the walking inflation, third the gambling inflation, and fourth the hyperinflation. Creeping inflation is 2 to 4%. Walking inflation comes to 5 to 10%. Galloping inflation is 10 to 20%, and hyperinflation is more than 20%. So the example of hyperinflation is Zimbabwe, where the demonetization, Zimbabwe demonetized its currency and introduced a whole new set of currency to control the crisis of hyperinflation. Talking about the effect of demonetization on the gold prices. Before the announcement of demonetization, gold prices were 32,000, and after the announcement of demonetization, within 2 days, the gold prices went to 40,000, directly from 32,000 to 40,000. That is directly a 20 to 30% hike which was observed after demonetization. And talking about the transportation sector, the toll operations were not accepting the 500 and 1000 rupees note. Hence, there were a long queue of vehicles on the national highway of Delhi, Mumbai, and on the highways of Gujarat and most of the highways in the country. So, impact of demonetization on the banking transactions. After announcement of demonetization, more than 18 crore transactions took place in the banking system. And there was a huge spike in the use of plastic money, that is the debit card and credit card. Everything was going online, the transactions took place online, and even the income tax department, they had a lot of raids. After the announcement, the income tax raided various cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Ludhiana, etc., and other cities, and a large sum of cash was seized by the income tax department. Alright guys, this was Pranay Kadam from IM 3G, roll number 34, and this was all about demonetization. Thank you so much.